Hi, this is Len. I'm a member of Coffee Geek and have been for some years now. And some questions that have come up on Coffee Geek on how to make a bricka, which is a form of a mocha pot. The bricka is made by Bialetti, and the bricka makes an espresso type of beverage. It's not a true espresso in that it really doesn't have the type of crema that a true espresso will produce, an espresso machine will produce, excuse me. However, it is considered to be a step above a regular mocha pot. The bricka is only made by Bialetti. Correct me if I'm pronouncing the name not correct, but here is the bricka taken apart. We have the water measuring cup. We have the bottom chamber with the pressure relief valve. This is a well-seasoned brick. I've had this for many years. I would say I probably have had this for about 8 years. This is the 4-cup version. They make a 2-cup version too, which is difficult to get in the United States. This is the 4-cup. I purchased this actually off of Amazon. This is the top chamber. There's the famous bricka valve that's on the top. So it's kind of like a weighted, it has a bit of a weight on the top of the stem. And when the bricka achieves the temperature or steam pressure required to push this little valve up, that's when the contents, the hot water from the bottom chamber, will go up through the stem, and prior to that, it'll be going through the coffee grounds that are in the basket that's attached into the bottom chamber, like so. I keep my bricka always apart until use, so that it doesn't accumulate any kind of moisture or anything inside after cleaning. The aluminum mocha pots have a habit of getting some type of residue that forms inside the chamber, the bottom chamber specifically. If you keep it all closed after cleaning, and if you just keep it all apart like this, as shown, after its use, you won't get the formation of the type of sediment kind of stuff on the bottom. Now, as I mentioned previously, there's been some questions as to how to properly make a bricka so that the brew that comes out of the top part, when it comes out, does not come out with huge force and spraying all over the place. And also there's some issues with it not coming out properly at all, and causing the pressure relief valve to pop open and cause issues. Hopefully today we're not going to have any of those issues. I'm going to be making my bricka today with some coffee beans that are Nicaraguan that I've roasted to a full city. Just experimenting around. I really like to, now with a new coffee maker I have called the Technoform, I like to roast a little bit lighter, so I've been kind of experimenting. My next batch is going to be a City Plus roast. Will be a little bit lighter than full city, so I'm just I just brought my roast up to about the very almost prior, basically prior to a second crack. So that's what we're going to be using today as the coffee grind for this bricka. After I make the bricka, I'm going to be putting the bricka into the bricka, the result of the bricka. I don't want to really call it espresso, but maybe for intents and purposes right now I will, just to make things a little bit smoother with this video. I'm going to be putting the espresso produced by the bricka in some hot water, the result of which ultimately be an Americano. If I put the hot water into the espresso, basically I'm getting the same basic beverage. However, the beverage is then called a long black. I don't know why the difference in terms, but that's what's going to be happening. So I'm going to start by getting the bottom basket. Excuse me, not the bottom basket, the grinds basket. And this is it. You notice that there's a rubber seal right there. Again, this is a Brikka that's been used for quite some time. So your rubber seal, if you have it, if they even still make it with the rubber seal, it'll be most likely a lighter shade of color than this one. This one has a little bit. See if I get a good focus on it, which I'm not getting. There we go. It's been tinged brown from so much use. What I do first is I get a bit of water. We have a water filter system. We have city water where we live, and so we have a bit of a faucet filter system. I can't remember what make it is. This is a DuPont. I put it over so it's filtering. I get that bottom seal, just wet it a bit. Just moisten it up a bit so to ensure everything's okay with it. That seals properly. Go over to my coffee grinder. I have the Breville Smart Grind. It's a decent enough grinder for what I usually do. I have this set currently for a drip at with the Breville. What I want to do is I want to turn this over to a finer grind. As you can see, the little arrow is going to the right. It goes after it gets past the percolator filter section of it for the grind. It gets over into the espresso portion of the system. It goes from cups to shots. Let me just go to the left. See where it says cups? Now it goes to shots, and I want to put it at shots because I want, number one, I want a finer grind. I got it almost to the point where I would have it as a grind for my La Pavoni espresso lever action. So a little bit coarser, not much coarser. I have it set at 2 shots. I want to do this a shot at a time. Oops, went right past it. Bring it, did it again. Okay, there you go. I want to kind of grind a little bit into a receptacle that the Smart Grind has first, just in case there's any coarser grind sitting in there previously from my drip. That ought to do it. Give it a couple smacks. Pull that out. And what you see now, there's the basket. Cara, can you get the flashlight? My wife, Cara, is going to be getting the flashlight. She's my helper here today. The Breville has a little magnetic thing in the very back there. And right up there. Maybe, I don't know if you can see it. There it is. And pull this camera back a little bit, make you see it better. It's a little magnetic strip. It holds the portafilter. Well, we'll call it a portafilter basket, but it's not. Right there. It's just going to help me a little bit for this particular video. If I can zoom out a little bit so you can see it better. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a shot at a time inside here, and after each shot, I'm going to kind of tap it a little bit on the bottom portion of the grinder there at the bottom platform, just to kind of tampen it down a little bit. We don't want to tampen it down in a conventional sense with a tamper. It would pack it too hard and won't work properly. So let's do one shot. I don't know if you can see it inside there. You hold the flashlight like that. There. You see that? There's one shot right in there right now. It's going to tampen it down just a bit, just like that. I'm going to put it back in. Let it go again. Make it out. See it? Tampen it down again. Bring it back. So far there's 2 shots in there. There's a third shot. It's up to the point of the fourth shot. I like to take it out a little bit. And that's what it looks like now. The objective is to bring it up just a little bit below the bottom of the lip. And that was 4 shots. Excuse me. Whoa! There's 5 shots. And I'm just going to do like a half shot more of that. That's it. That's what it kind of looks like. Right now, I'm going to bring this over to maybe a better light source right in front of the... I thought it was a better light source. Okay. Want to hold that for me? Ask my wife to hold the camera now. There's going to be a little shaky transition period here. Okay, I'm going to get it. Let me see if I can. I got a little bit of an indication now as to what that looks like. What I now want to do is, you want to hold this, please? You're going to be only doing this for yourself, so I'm presuming that you're going to be using clean hands. And my hands are clean. And this is only for yourself, so there's not going to be any kind of squeamishness about giving something like this to somebody else with your hands all over, etc. If you're going to be serving it to other people, you want to follow the necessary, put plastic gloves, put plastic food grade, gloves on, etc. Use a spoon or whatever. But this is just for yourself, so just go like this. Okay, just going to kind of level it out a little bit. That's all. Kind of bang it a little bit with your hand. Want to make sure that the top lip right there is clean of any grounds. And you want to look at the bottom lip, same thing. Okay, right now I'm just going to go right over here. I'm just going to temporarily place it in the bottom chamber. Now, this is the cup.
Can't really see the marks on it.
Okay, we gotta go over to the window horse. This is the cup that Brikka gives you. And see, there's a little line right there. Can you see it? Can you see the line?
No, not really. There.
Can you see it now?
Yep, I can see it.
Alright, Brikka tells you to fill it up to that line, but just a tiny bit below it, believe it or not. At least with the instructions I got on mine, about 6 to 8 years ago. So I fill it up to the line, Big deal. And this is, there, it's right to the line. That's the amount of water that we're going to use for the Brikka. Going back over to the Brikka. I'm going to put the flashlight down for a second because this is something where you want to use both your hands. I take this out. Now, the bottom chamber is completely dry. There's an inner kind of a lip. You seen the lip? I'm going to put it down. I'm going to turn on the water just a bit. Again, with clean hands. I'm going to kind of moisten that lip a little bit. It helps with the sealing of the top chamber to the bottom chamber and the filter basket. There. Walk back over here. I'm going to get the water. I'm going to pour that right into the bottom chamber, as so. I'm going to get the basket now. I'm going to put the basket right into the top. Alright. Now I'm going to carry this over to the sink now again. There's a lot of steps here and they all come together when you get used to it. Again, now there's a rubber seal in the bottom here. Let me turn off the faucet and get the flashlight. See, there's a rubber seal in the upper portion. This is the part that screws into the bottom portion. You can see it okay? I moisten that with water too. You don't want these things to dry out. They dry out, that's when problems happen. I've had the original seals in this for the past, like I said, going on 8 years or so. So I get my water again, turn it on, and I moisten that bottom seal in the upper chamber. There we go. It's moistened, just like that. All right. Now I'm just going to get the top part, place it right on the bottom. And for right now, I'm going to tighten that top part to the bottom. And I'm going to I tighten things very tight, and that's the way I believe it should be done. Okay, so it's all together now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just get a paper towel. I'm going to wipe off the bottom there because it got some water on it. And if I put that on the stove, since we have an electric flat plate stove, it'll want to hop around the stove and influence that little metal weight on the top, and that's something we don't want to have done. All right, now it's all together. The basket it has the, I moistened the seals on it and with water. I put the appropriate amount of water in it. One thing you want to make sure of is that this thing on top, the little metal weight, is spinning properly and can go up and down fine. I'm going to bring this right over to our stove. And it's an electric stove. Okay. And I'm going to put the stove on high. And I'm not going to put it, see, there's a little water there. Right there. Can you watch from the water? And you don't want that. Somehow it stayed on the bottom. Believe it or not. I don't know how that happened. Alright, here we go again. Alright, just making sure that the burner's not hot when you do this, of course. Get that water off there. Alright, let's try this again. I'm just going to place it right there. This is, you can see where did you see it okay? This is where our hot plate basically ends, and you want the handle away from where it ends. You want it just like this. You don't want it in the center, because if you have it like that, you're going to grab a hold of this handle, and the handle's going to be hot. It's not necessary to have it like that. Just like this. Then I put the stove on high, and we're going to sit back now. We're just going to watch this darn thing. If I can get, you can see the hot plate is getting nice, and hopefully you can see it's getting red. It's red hot right now. And basically we're sitting here and we're observing what's happening inside of this mocha pot, and when the appropriate time comes, I'm going to turn the stove off, and I'm going to pull the mocha pot off the stove, and it'll continue doing what it needs to do until it's complete. And then I'm going to pour the resulting Brikka espresso into that small tulip glass, so you can see the amount of crema that's there. I've never poured it into one of these kind of glasses before, so I hope it doesn't shatter. So I don't think it will. At any rate, there's a little bit of, I haven't used the Brikka in maybe about a month, because I got a new coffee maker. The smoke that you see coming off it, that's just some junk that's on the burner. It's not on the Brikka. We don't have to worry about that. But if you didn't have any junk on the bottom of the Brikka, then you'd want to, if you didn't have any junk, if you had junk on the bottom of the Brikka, make sure it's clean before you put it on the stove. You can see my Brikka is very well seasoned. I do keep it clean, but you don't want to scrub the heck out of it or nothing like that. It's not necessary. What we're going to be looking for initially is a little bit of Brikka espresso coming out of the top, and it'll be going down to the bottom. Initially that happens. Generally, the way things have been going, that's the way it works. Then all of a sudden it'll do its little pop, and then you get a flood of it coming down. And then you want to take it off. You want to take it off the burner when that happens. And you want to let it continue until you hear the first hints of steam coming out of that top. Then you want to pour it. You can hear the pressure building up right now. I'm going to take the flashlight away and hopefully be able to do this with one hand. I apologize for the shakiness here. I'm not timing it. It's just, you can see that white is actually red. It's red hot right now because we have that type of stove. If you have a gas stove, you may want to not have it as high, because gas is going to be hotter than this electric. But hopefully you can sit back and do the timing appropriately if you have a gas stove and say, I'm doing it right or I'm doing it wrong. All kinds of things can happen right now. I mean, that pressure valve could go. I could start leaking a little bit out of the sides, which does happen sometimes. You kind of want to hang in there and just use your experience to determine whether you're doing things right or wrong. And if you're doing it wrong, of course, stop right away. Hear a little bit of a noise. That happens. Yep, I turn it off now. It actually is popped. I just let it sit there. You hear that little squeak? Sorry. Definitely want to take it off just right now. There you go. At this point, I'm just going to pour this. It does that. No worries. I'm pouring this into the glass. And that's it. Jeez. That's Brikka now, and she's cooling off the bottom part with cold water. Let me just set it aside. And there's a completed Brikka in there. Now I want to make my espresso. And get my glass. Bring it over to the sink. About half full of water, a little bit less. Bring it over to our microwave. Put it on for a minute. I just want to warm up the water. I don't want to have it boil, because the more than warm water with the hottest Brikka espresso curiously, it doesn't have as much crema on the top as I usually want, or Brikka crema. My wife was telling me that it started boiling, and I was busy talking. Anyways, you don't want it to boil. So anyways, I apologize for that. It's not supposed to boil. I should have put it for 30 seconds and not a minute. So, these videos are challenging, let me tell you. It's not we're going to bring this over to the glass. I want to show them what it looks like. Thank you. Alright, there we go. So, this was too small. And this will I drink a lot of coffee, so when it comes to these demos, this is like the first time I've ever done these demos. It's probably fairly obvious. At any rate, I'm going to have my wife hold the glass. We're going to do this over the sink in case I pour it all over the place while I pour it in the glass. You can just set it in this. Okay, here we go. We'll see how this goes. Here's the Brikka and the coffee, and the Brikka espresso, and I'm pouring it into the hot water. So that supposedly makes it a Brikka Cafe Americano. If I did the other way around, it would have been the long black, as we mentioned. No, that's an Americano, and like I said, the fake the fake crema that it basically generally produces, I wasn't able to totally replicate the way I like, and I'm going to be writing that down because I'm doing a video here, and just you know, the having to hold the camera and both of us trying to coordinate it here on the fly, so that it's halfway decent. Kind of, like I said, it's challenging, but let's see if I get this in some better light. I'm not gonna see much. Just again, Americano, a Brikka Americano. I hope that was instructional, and thanks for looking at the video. I'm posting it on YouTube for everybody to make fun of. So, the what? Oh yeah, the little Bialetti guy. I gotta show you that if he's on here. So he's on here somewhere. Then yeah. Where is he? There he is. There's the my wife wanted me to show you. My wife Carl wanted me to show you the Bialetti guy. And at this point, I don't know if that is his first finger, his index finger, or his second finger, and I've never been able to figure it out. But at any rate, I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a nice day.